So now, however she's looking to prop, again, she's just a big baby, that's fine. This is all the way, by the way, one of the reasons why everyone needs new mattresses, and they don't look at the way they're moving. But I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying. But now she mentioned the piano hand. So, but I'm gonna do, it's an assessment on the side, but how it affects, because I mentioned this too with Paul. You saw on the left side, again, I have to go back to the video where his fingers were actually coming out and he was actually coming down to the ground. But on the right side, he, again, he wasn't making contact. I call it like either like a water bug or skipping stones, where you'll see like, I'll get on the table and just show crawling. The knees really want to go out, almost like ice skating, versus bearing weight and pushing off. It's just a completely different. I said all these kids are here, but I'd really like to see a little bit of adults. I don't think any adults are.
There's one
adults
coming.
coming.
I know, but all these kids are in the pool right now.
I totally agree. I'm sitting with my back to it.
So,
Oh, here the adults are.
yeah, but I
But
don't
they're
know.
not
if they
related, they're not related to these.
But they'll still be able to respond if they see a floating body at the bottom of the pool.
I totally
That's
agree.
your
but-
CPR.
I don't know.
One, two, three, agree.
You're putting other people in a position they shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
Also an HOA.
So I'm here working on her now. The only thing is with an adult, I try not to look into the faces just because they don't want to smell what I had for lunch, but. So now it's interesting with her. I can't get her hand off this ground. Can you feel that? So it's sort of like just working on the head, any different. So you're just here. Now normally I pass the bodies around, but I'll do this to all of you so you can feel what it's like. But again, see how I've tried now 3 or 4 times and you're down this table, which is fine.
Is she using her hand for support?
I don't know, but for whatever reason, her hand is down. You know, we can go on and on and on. Should she be propped, have a pillow? Yes, her feet should be behind the pelvis. I don't care. I'm after for movement, and it's just a different kind of assessment. So I've tried now a couple of times, see if she moved a hand and came back, and I still can't get this hand up. So now I'm going to come up, and what I would do is not more habitually, is I'm going to come back and just see if her elbow wants to come up. That's not too happy either. Do you feel how heavy that upper arm is? Can you see that? But it's just, I'm not just lifting this arm up in the air. Look at how much weight, that arm still is just not coming off. Fine. So now I'm going to come all the way around. I'm going to come back here just so you can see it. Normally I wouldn't move me, but, so now I'm going to look at, so see how the shoulder's just not rotating. It's flagging back and forth, but I'm not, really rotating the shoulder. So I'm just here, and I'm just looking at different ways, and now I'm going to go just up a little. Now my countering, you don't see it, I put a bit more pressure back on the scapula, less pressure on the shoulder, or vice versa. So I'm going in, I'm going out. That's another way I can counter. If you're looking at counter rotation, then from here. But hopefully that made a lot more sense after I looked through your head. So now she's moving more. But with that, see how the ulna and the radius are changing, just that subtle. Right there, feel the difference? So I'm right here, no problem. Now I'm going down, like tuning a piano. Now I could say, what did you do to your arm? And she might say, nothing. Or she can say I was T-boned and I was in an accident, or I got it from the side. But it could have been also where her 6-year-old brother like clocked her, I mean, I don't know. And maybe she doesn't know. Or what's worse is sometimes people feel they were fine until one specific event. Like Holly worrying about wasn't specifically the C-section. Well, life was involved. If she was stressed about the pregnancy, if she, you know what I mean? Like this, that, the other. If she felt she wasn't eating the right things. I mean, who knows where it came from? I don't like to find fault. I just look for glitches. When I find a glitch, I go, So see already the difference?
Wow.
Now this is the part that's like weird for the people I'm working on because we're like, what just happened? Because that's what Jill was like, huh?
Yeah, that's remarkable.
And if I come here now, there, this is what I'm talking about. So she asked about son playing piano, right? Now that was a fall. Do you see that?
Yeah.
See how she came? That's where I start looking for falls. I'm trying not to block the view, but I normally, where I always work with two hands. But see the staccato? That's what I'm talking about. Do you see how all this is pads getting information? Now, do you see all this too, if a little baby's making all these little movements versus having an IV and the motor? So even if this hand was IV'd, there's no reason why a mother just can't be like, just say, get the pad under the pad and go, this little baby, you know what I mean? And just allow that rotation to come through.
Do you rotate the fingers?
Why not? Every part of the body should be able to rotate. But,
Nothing, man.
no,
Trying to keep my mouth shut.
Why?
Poking me.
But just from that alone, look at the difference now of how her fingers are attracted to the table. I need a camera just on Ruth for the whole day. See the difference? Look at the level of real estate I now have off these fingers to play a piano, just from that little bit. But don't touch your kid's fingers, you might ruin them. So again, where I can do here, this is where I don't like those octopus thingies in the NICU too. It's like, oh, it's like they're holding the cord. No, they've been birthed now, there's no more cord, they're out of the womb, can we stop with that? Because they can get really clenched around it. They're crocheting little octopuses, the with tentacles that someone's making these cute little, I can't they're cute, but it's like putting a Christmas tree ornament with the
For
baby.
them to hold on to.
So then they'll hold on to, but then
Yeah.
where's the release?
We don't use those in our video.
Tomorrow. See how I can just look at the pad placements, look at all that finger detail that I can get. I can work on a rotation this way, or again, that I can come underneath. See, look at there. See that the staccato of the thumb coming up?
Yeah.
So this is where I'd have to work with her. Now, this could be from over-texting, I don't know. So now, I'm just looking at the thumb
Oh
and just,
my God, every teenage girl.
so do you see how the hand reflex patterns that I'm working on here now, and that I'm not, but it's all functional. See how much quicker you're getting? Can you see that? How much quicker? Put this after an IV. I don't know if the arm can come off. It's still heavy right there. So that's where I'm gonna just come in and just rotate them. See how you're coming over to your arm and then back. Over to your arm. There you go. Bring your arms to away from us. Do you see naturally now? Now watch her rib cage. Do you see how she counters? I bring up the arm. Do you see how nice that is within there? See, that's extension. See how she rotates her hand back?
You don't need a massage therapist after this.
No, if you know how to move, then the muscles shouldn't be making the movement. The muscles should be reacting to the movement. So when you're working with massage, that's all they're doing. That's why you don't feel great 3 days later. You might feel great during it. But just to offer, quote, relief of a knot, what caused the knot in the first place? And it might be your feet, you know? So if I need to be here, and when the system can respond more in a functional manner. So now here, this is where push-ups would be hard for her. So notice I can't get her wrist in a 90-degree angle. This is not the time to sit there and go, come on, sweet, look at that. Look at the startle I have just by putting in her to a 90. But this is where, again, just like I was doing with Paul's feet, see how I'm up underneath and dropping, allowing that gravity to take over into the wrist. There she goes. So see the difference now of that coming into more push-ups.
Michelle, can you work on yourself?
You can, not to the same efficiency, but yes. I actually have a
Can
video.
you work on yourself?
Again, not to the same.
I'm
At
afraid.
least give me 1 hour on my own out-of-body experience. But see, the more I work on the hand, you see more that I get out of her whole body, just from hand and wrist. Now again, I'm increasing her acceleration. This is very important. Handwriting skills, I'm telling you now, if your hand, wrist will only go as fast as your tush.
Your hand and wrist will only go as fast as your push.
Yes. So, tighten your butt. See the difference? See how her coming over the system? She just doesn't look as pretty.
So are you meaning by that hip rotation is related to?
Oh, heck yeah. So let your sacrum go. See the difference?
So do you get much of an emotional response or release or reaction with when you do these?
Yes and no. I think it's, what I'm doing is so not in your vocabulary. It's more like, what did she just do to me? Like, she hardly touched me and I just changed. I'm not doing anything that she knows of. So that's why it's the hardest thing to learn about movement lesson is because it's not in your vocabulary. However, once it becomes in your vocabulary, then you got it. But now what she has is faith that this works. So to explain it, she might not be there, but she won't doubt it anymore because her system changed. But I didn't try to fix her, I didn't try to do anything. I heard a question, I solved her problem. So therefore, she got also that no response. So many kids and babies will come to you. They don't know what's wrong with them. They don't live like that. God bless my son can just walk in and say, I'm trying out for the school play, I think it'll help my social skills. Okay, Gran. You know, I would be like, oh my God, I'm gonna like me, I'm too fat. Like, that's my 16-year-old. So, you know, I just, even though he's got full-blown, I mean, he's diagnosed mentally retarded, but he's got full-blown autism and all that, but he has no mommy issues. He just walks in and says, nope, I think this should be good for me. He just did a whole leadership, 2 leaderships camps this summer. My sister's now all worried because he stutters too much. I'm like, Sonia, he's got about 10 things in his brain trying to filter out his one mouth. Do you think I have it bad? Boom, that's a 14-year-old. Yeah. You can see, he's like looking in the filing cabinet. Oh, and then, you know, but he can tell you, I'm going to Czechoslovakia. He knows when it's 3 countries. I said that wrong because I'm going to Czech Republic. And he can tell you when they broke up, when they were together. So now from this, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Lie your back. And I just want you to gently feel what it's like to sit up to your right and then come back down and sit up to your left. Just from the wrist and the chest. You feel that?
Yeah. That was crazy. Did you guys see what
Yeah.
I felt?
Do it again, but
That was.
see the difference? How her arm can come over that crossing midline? No midline crossing with this one,
Yeah.
so I prefer to get
The
the
legs
midline.
out and in cage.
Yeah. So if you lie down, so if I'm here with her now as a baby, I can just do this, and she weighs about 3 ounces. See, she's just here. You guys can try this if you want. But if I come over here, just alone, the weight of her arm. but see here, look at this. See how the chest is not, and for me to, yeah, now see, that's what Paul was doing. Just see how she tried to lift her head,
Yeah.
just from that.
So crazy.
Am I right? She was lifting her head in an unnatural way to try and get there,
Correct.
not in the.
But also because I stimulated it, that's what I'm saying with Paul. If I go and stimulate like a C7, I'm gonna make him do an unnatural response. But see her, I can just be all the way over here like, come here, you know, and her head's flopping away. She's just responding to my stimuli. But for whatever reason now, here, what I did, which I would assume she's more so doing, is I've gotten someplace into her shoulder that she doesn't want to have a conversation with. So now she's automatically going to start lifting her head because she's afraid that I'm either going to hurt her here or hurt her here. Even if she might not say it out of her mouth, it's just a subconscious response. So she naturally lifted her head up so she wouldn't have to have that conversation.
So she can compensate.
However you want to call it, but yeah, she went into some kind of self-protective response. But I'm saying if she's a typical woman with children and a husband and whatever, and a house and a mortgage doing this, I want you just to have more of appreciation of what a baby would be going through.
Sure.
And they're suddenly, like I said, I'm picking on car seats. I don't mean to pick on car seats, but if that's the one day that they decide that they're just going to reach and try and touch their toy with this kind of arm, but that's the response they get is this kind of arm, which one do you think is neuromapping?
Right,
That's what I'm after.
right. That makes perfect sense.
So she's still freaked out.
I am freaked out. This shoulder last summer was torn out of this socket a little bit because
Right.
I was swing dancing. My hubby, he
Yeah.
flipped over his back and like he held on really tight, and so the shoulder was really
Right.
jacked up for like a really long time. And then this one started to do it too. So
Right, because the counterbalance. Yeah. Movement.
it was weird because I only injured this one, but then this shoulder started feeling the same as this one.
Because you're neuromapping off of that one, and so that was a stronger conversation with your brain. So your brain's saying, well, this one's doing it, the other one should be doing it.
That was great and awesome.
Yeah, but now feel walking now. See how her one arm is just like swinging away?
Yeah.
And then the other. And like I said, you know, that was very significant to me that Paul was here, but this was, you know, it wasn't
Right.
plant. He was kind of doing
Couldn't plant,
this,
yeah.
but he was, you know, doing that kind of thing. But left side he was good. Now he'll want, just like the standing leg, be at a point, this, okay, to answer your question before we're crawling. So if I'm just doing 4 points, I'm a table. I take away one leg, I'm going down. Without a weight transfer, I need to counter shift, especially to the back of my pelvis, almost to the one knee where I have this free and available. The more I can counter, the more I call real estate I have. If I'm countering like this, you know what I mean? Like I might want to play with this, but I can't get to it, or I fall down. I learned that don't play over here. You know what I mean? So this is more what it's like. So you'll see when they're here, and again, if I sleep on my belly, right? I'm here. If I have any little dreams, I'm going into a pre-crawl. You know? If I have too much tummy time, or whatever, I'm here. Especially if I go frog. You know, the knee placement is just that little bit higher versus here. Now here again, I have abnormal knees, so you'll see my knees go up. But if I'm here with my legs, that's an issue. But if I'm flat-headed, I'm more here. Look at the difference on how I present in lying down. Right?
Your hips are flexed.
All of that, especially here, that this is actually more comfortable now to go frog. And that's where you see flat-head kids tend to have a bit more, and then they start getting the hip malformation or the hip dysplasia.
Wow.
So if you want, you could go, when you lie down in the bed tonight or whatever, you can feel it. This actually hurts. This is more comfortable when my head's okay here. But when I go flat head, I'm actually more comfortable in the. So there's several different types of arm crawl. So all first started out, I don't mean to keep picking on Paul by any means, it's just what
But
he
he's
said.
her
He's the only one with that.
So, no, I'm just trying to say, you know,
No.
I was just worried about Holly. Now we can talk amongst ourselves.
no, I know that, but even if God forbid she watches these, I'm just saying, I really am just, so when I have, let's say, we'll start with the flathead, right? When I'm arm crawling here, see again, this is where I'm saying, they start activating the muscles within the back of the neck that I can't do. You know, I will be already here, and so my head teeter-totters here. When I'm here, see the difference it takes for me to look for you?
Yeah.
Now, again, more compromised, that's why I say he has a good intelligence, because his eyes are free. He can do this. Most kids like that would be doing,
Oh.
see how they're lifting their heads up with their eyes. So
Yes.
again, it's two types of crawls, you know, just even a head lift. There's many different types of head lifts. What I did see in the beginning, what I didn't like is this. Had a much higher momentum, right? Versus this to look at you, versus,
Right.
right? So he was top heavy. And that's why I was saying, whose nose? Was it your nose? Whose nose was it? Your nose. Was a bit too, again, when they're on their back, too much momentum. So especially too when you see a child and they're sitting up and they're still floppy and stuff. They're like this, right? I'm seeing too much momentum. Oh, where's my water bottle trick? I forgot my water bottle. I haven't done that yet. We need tomorrow. Wine glass full. We'll do that in the morning. So with the army crawl too, so if I'm here and I'm trying to do this, see, then I'm crawling like this. It's very symmetrical. That's not an army crawl.
No.
Right? So, but an army crawl, why? It just a lot of people don't know. If I'm here, look at all, I can get down to that outlet, all the way down to here, right? There, I have so much more real estate. But if I'm in symmetrical, especially with my feet are out here, I can barely, maybe handle it here. That's a completely different, just that alone is going to change the nervous system development. So what you were saying with what I was saying with the tush. So if I'm on all fours too, I should be able to see my sacrum and my sacrum. See the neutrality, and that's going to be a good.
Because you were
way.
saying that about Paul, he needs to be able to side sit.
Right, but also what I said about Paul too. Now they're doming method and all that sort of stuff. They believe in patterning, right?
Yeah.
That child, if you sit there and did that to him, you're really going to be impeding his abductors because he's really going to try and protect it. Because I, on the right side, only think I got to here. I was a bit better on this side where I can get him up to about here, but I still wasn't up to where he could do a full circle, you know, and go back down around. So,
But with fattening,
what?
you don't come 90 degrees, you go just below 90 degrees.
Yes, but if you don't know what the hell you're doing and you're sending home a book, people are getting a brain injured child with a parent and they're going, my child's gonna crawl because I do this and I do this. I mean, and especially when they're here, you know what I mean? Like, no, but this is,
It's too forceful.
there's not a good evaluation system to go into.
Right.
I get it, your child should crawl. I would like every child in the world to crawl. I wish you didn't have to know me. I totally get that. However, you know what I mean? There needs to be, if your child's not doing something, we need to find out why on that nervous system. And hopefully this is what you're learning today, and we'll be doing more of the babies tomorrow, that not all babies are created equal, and to find out what's up in their nervous system that's prohibiting that. Yes, the birth is a good thing to look at, but then where to go from that, to start offering solutions for that child instead of, again, more things of what's wrong with the child.
Right.
So,
I can totally see how this lays the foundation for pattern.
oh yeah,
It's totally a prerequisite.
yeah. So, any questions from there, some for her?
Just commenting that my shoulder like feels amazing.
Oh,
It's
good.
usually kind of